Hey everyone, hello. That was Eruption, the famous solo by Eddie Van Halen. Um, Nothing was ever heard like that before. I think it was 1978. They released their first album. So, anyways, for guitar players, that was kind of a pivotal time. Kind of changed the sound of everything. But what I want to talk about is what are we erupting into now in this coronavirus scam, this lockdown mess that they've had us in. LA County not wanting to open up society now. They're going to have restrictions through at least August, maybe longer. Keep wearing your mask. These ridiculous things. Really, what a joke. I mean, basically, these little cloth masks, this is not stopping viruses. Okay, anybody does some research. Now, these viruses are so little, they take an electron microscope to see them. Okay, you have to have very specialized masks. Maybe the N95 mask can stop some viruses, but not these cloth masks. So, what I want to talk about is masks are used in ritual, something that probably most people have never thought of, but they're used in all kinds of ritual rites, like for instance Mardi Gras, the wearing of masks, voodoo, all kinds of societies, pagan societies. African tribes. Masks is part of like a religious ceremony and the ushering in of events. People put on masks. Um, you know, Occultism uses masks. Look at Halloween. That's an occultic holiday, right? So we wear masks. There was a famous Twilight Zone episode called The Masks. And so basically, Grandpa was dying, if you haven't seen it. And he had everybody in his family wear masks until midnight. And he had issues with each one of his family, his grandkids, his granddaughters and stuff, his son, you know, because they all had, issues. They were using Grandpa for his money and stuff and just waiting for him to die. So these people were, they were against him, basically. They wanted him to go as soon as possible so they could get his money. So when they took their masks off at midnight, it revealed their true identity. They were left with these distorted faces. They had to wear around in life that really represented their true identity that they were, these real distorted people on the inside. So what I'm saying is consider the fact that we now are being forced to wear masks. Of course, here in California. Continue to wear your masks, which is distorting your face, distorting your image, and making people scared of one another. Okay, it's changing the whole interaction between human beings. I see it all the time. You see when you're just walking down the street, people are afraid to walk by you. Of course, when you don't wear a mask. I don't wear my mask. Okay, they force you to wear it, like if you want to walk in somewhere to pick up food or something. But otherwise, I would never put this ridiculous thing on. So there are people, that have talked about this before me, but I do believe this to be true, that the powers that be are using the mask as a ritual to get us used to hiding our faces and using it to usher in this new society that they're creating. The new society based on fear, based on control. It's a new world. And they keep giving us little hints of what it's going to be. Maybe inoculation with microchips, and maybe tracking of people. Maybe a new currency down the road. They, the powers that be, the government, you can look into this. They want a new cashless society, a digital society. It's all part of the one world system that I think is coming, and that this corona scamdemic, some people call it, which is, I think it's very fitting. It's not that I deny there's not a virus. There's a virus, and I don't know for sure, is it man-made or did it come from nature like animals? But it is there. But they're using this, and they're distorting its effects on people It's affecting the most vulnerable. But they're politicizing it, and these lockdowns are about control and teaching you to be a slave. I firmly believe that. It's about teaching Americans, who are the most open society in the world and the people that believe in individualism, to be a slave, listen to the government, whether they're right or wrong. And they're mostly wrong these days. They have no common sense. Common sense has gone out the door. This is written about, by Orwell's 1984, the book, the movie, or Brave New World by Huxley. All this thing was like predictive programming written about, more than 50, 60, more than that years ago. So these are the societies they're bringing in. I just want you to think for a moment, could the masks be part of this? Because really, we've never worn masks for anything like this in the history of the world. And they're really not effective at stopping disease. I mean, maybe if somebody sneezes, but the whole ideal about it, I think, is part of the training. And these people work on this secret knowledge and occultism. So, they're wanting people to wear these masks to usher you into this new world that they're creating. So I just wanted you to consider that today, and I'll just leave you with that. And if you haven't found Jesus, why don't you look his way? Because I think everything that's happening now is pointing to, what he teaches and the events that could be coming on us. Okay? Thanks a lot.